The Negro Motorist Green Book was a must-have for Black Americans traveling during 1936 to 1967. In it, you'd find restaurants, hotels, and other essential businesses across the nation that were safe for Blacks to visit. And some of those places were right here in Cincinnati. If it were up to them, Black travelers weren't leaving home without the Negro Motorist Green Book during the Jim Crow era.
Black travelers, Black Americans needed ways to travel across the U.S. safely.
The book outlined businesses in every U.S. city that welcomed people of color decades before desegregation. Trudy Gaba, social justice curator with the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center, traveled with me to Cincinnati area sites, including the Edgemont Inn or Harriet Beecher Stowe House.
This is where people had meals and gathered, and this was also a moment for celebrations of sorts, from birthday parties to weddings. Those were the intimate moments of connection that these walls would tell if they could talk.
Prior to being a meeting and lodging space, it was the family home of famous abolitionist Harriet Beecher Stowe. Today, the house still stands, offering a historical interpretation to visitors from all over the globe.
We have restored part of the house to 1840 to talk about the Beecher family and its abolitionist history and Harriet being able to write Uncle Tom's Cabin. But then part of the house is also restored to 1940 when it was the Edgemont Inn.
Less than a mile away from the Edgemont Inn is the Man's Hotel. I imagine if people were staying at the hotel, they might have had a drink at the tavern.
Yes, I really think this shows the heartbeat of what life was like within the Black community. You know, in the 1930s, there were, one of his was that hub for activity.
The Man's Hotel and Annex was the place to sleep, eat, and dance from the 1930s to 1960s.
It was that opportunity for people to have a beautiful dinner, followed up with lively conversation, dancing.
Today, it's known as the Manse Apartments, with 61 bedroom apartments priced for seniors in need.
About 720 square feet for my efficiencies. I do have some that are smaller because it's historical and it's just like a kind of a corner spot, but it provides a home for someone.
A home and a reminder to the residents who visit the community space that was once a historic ballroom.
Oh, James Browner. Oh, that's Thurgood Marshall. Wait a minute, that's Frank Robinson, So they tell about those stories of how I had a resident say that he had an autograph from Frank Robinson and he still had it to this day.
In the heart of Walnut Hills, once safe havens for Black travelers, today the Man's Hotel and Harriet Beecher Stowe House stand as pillars of Cincinnati and America today. The renovation of the Manse Apartments was a $13 million project. The Harriet Beecher Stowe House has received more than $2 million in renovations over the years.